Boing. My name is Captain Olimar. While traveling through space, my ship was struck by a meteor. I must have blacked out, and I awoke on the surface of a weird planet. With so many parts lost, the skeletal hull of my beloved dolphin is a painful sight. The engine is gone. I'm stranded. To make matters worse, my atmospheric sensors indicate this planet's environment contains high levels of poisonous oxygen. My life support systems can function for only 30 days. If I can't repair the dolphin by then, no, better not think about it. I must find the missing ship parts. Well, welcome everybody. This is going to be the LP of Pikmin. And I'm your host, KK, and I am co-commentating with my friend, Ardwickofonett. Say hi, Ardwick.
Hi, Ardwick.
Well, we're going to be doing an LP, and this is going to be pretty much not a speedrun, but a quick run-through of the whole game.
An efficient run-through of Pikmin 1.
Yes, pretty much. And we start off by visiting what seems to be an onion, which actually has no resemblance to an onion whatsoever. A strange thing has appeared before me. I had barely begun my search when it reared up as if it were waiting for me. It then dropped a single seed. What is it? Is it alive as a machine? Who knows? It resembles a vegetable on my home planet that we call an onion. I shall call this an onion too.
It looks like a tomato with a flower on top on a tripod.
That's exactly my point. Exactly. So what we want to do is we want to touch this thing right here. What is this, you may ask? Well, we'll soon find out.
It's a jalapeno pepper with a leaf on it.
Looks tasty. The seed that the onion dropped took root in the soil and has now produced an admirable little sprout. This sprout emits a strange light, and it sways back and forth without benefit of the wind. I cannot help but think it is calling to me, and I am compelled, and I must approach it and press A. Well, this is going to be the GCN version of Pikmin, and what we just did was get our first Pikmin!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! He's staring at us, or at the floor now. Or at the ground, whatever. Extraordinary, when I plucked the sprout, it turned out to be a living creature, not a plant. Picking it has done no visible damage. It just stands there staring at me. Its shape is similar to a Pick brand carrot. Carrots that I love so much, I believe I shall call it a Pikmin. Yes, indeed. Here I am, stranded on a toxic planet, fighting to survive, and yet I am intrigued. I must research this fascinating creature. I shall try and grab it and throw it with A, and I'll call it by my side with B. And a lot of other instructions that are meaningfully pointless. Following controls appear to allow me several viewpoints. This is pretty much the basic tutorial of the game Pikmin in a nutshell. And pretty much what we have to do is survive and get as many ship parts as we can within 30 days, or else something bad will happen.
Now here's what I would do. If I ever got stranded on a deserted island, not an island, but a deserted planet rather, and I pulled an alien out of the ground, it would be my instinct to throw it at stuff.
Yeah. Mine point exactly.
But let's pick this tiny little thing that we ripped out of the earth and throw it at stuff.
And suddenly it sprouts more stuff by gathering some food products, apparently.
Yum.
Astonishing, the onion has sown more seeds. This small red pellet the Pikmin harvested after cutting down a flower appears to be some type of food that can propagate more Pikmin. The onion seems to be a sort of incubator. Needless to say, I must study this strange life form more. So pretty much what you want to do is get these so-called things called pellet posies, and pretty much throw Pikmin at it, like so. And pretty much what you're going to do is gather these pellets and get more Pikmin. The more Pikmin, the better you are off at surviving.
Note that there are opportunities to get about 25 Pikmin, if I recall.
Yes, 25 Pikmin on the first day. And what is really good about the first day is that there is no time limit. Overall, this game is pretty short compared to most GCN games, but still has a lot of content, surprisingly. Okay.
Yeah, so the first day is no time limit, but the other remaining 29 days will cost about 11 minutes per day.
Or is it 13? I forget.
13, right, sorry, 13.
Yes, and pretty much I'm just exploring right now what is called the impact site. This is pretty much where our precious little dolphin has crash landed. But don't worry, we just need to find the one ship part that is located here. There's two ship parts located in the impact site at the in this game, but apparently you can only access one on the first day. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pretty much just go over... Get up. Stupid Pikmin. Pretty much what we're going to do is collect enough Pikmin so that we can push that box right over there.
Fun fact. The code name for the GameCube was actually the Dolphin, and since this was one of the first games released for the GameCube, there is a little Nintendo reference right there.
Ah, that's true. Takes so long for them to actually sprout.
Yeah, again, you're lucky you're not in time limit here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're in a video time limit, though. I imagine you want to get this done by a specific...
That's true. And that's what the next thing we want to get is that 5 pellet. And usually there's different numbers of pellets.
Well, I would say give that one 5, and then use...
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
Okay.
I read your mind. It's amazing.
You magnificent bastard, I read your book!
Okay, and the bigger the number, it's going to take more Pikmin to carry it back to their onions. But the bigger the number, the more sprouts will... The more Pikmin will sprout. Blech. And pretty much... when you have a 1 pellet, if it's the same color as the Pikmin, then it'll sprout usually double the amount that's written on the pellet. So like, for example, if you send 1 red pellet to the red onion, it'll sprout 2 red Pikmin. So, really beneficial. Pretty much now we just wanted to get at least 10.
So we had 7 before, now we have 14.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're growing in numbers. It's amazing. Okay, so what you want to do right now here is move this box. Cardboard box. I'm surprised Olimar couldn't have just pushed it by himself. I guess he's just too weak. He made his minions do it for him.
Well, he's not weak, he's just like, hey, you guys do this for me. Why should I do it when you guys can? This is the man who, upon seeing aliens the first time, threw them at stone.
That's true. Well, he's making a good use of slavery right now. Pikmin are as curious as children. They form groups to perform tasks that would be impossible for an individual. A glimmer of hope has begun to shine in my heart. If I can make use of their skills, perhaps I can fix my ship. I shall sum up all I've learned of Pikmin. Approach them, and pretty much this is just basic, knowledge that I already know. So here, what we have is the first ship part. Thankfully for us, it just happens to be conveniently located right near our ship.
Hooray!
Amazing! There's no mistaking it. My ship's engine rests before me, my very eyes. By a stroke of pure luck, I have already stumbled upon the most important piece of my damaged craft. Fate has smiled upon me. But how will I get back to the Dolphin? Well, that's a good point, considering that you actually need 20 Pikmin to carry it, and we only have 14. So let's call them back. And pretty much there are a couple more pellets laying around. Hey, stop. And what you want to do is by clicking on the B button, you'll be able to whistle Pikmin that are doing a task or just not grouped in your current group. To release them and not be in your group, you just press X. So that way they are just lonesome by themselves. So let's get the rest of the pellets. Up, up, up. Okay.
There's more, I think. There's more pellets.
Oh yes, you are quite right, Ardwick. Thankfully that one can handle it by himself.
Yeah.
He's a trooper.
Fun fact, the engine there. If you throw a Pikmin in the center of it, it'll kill the Pikmin.
Really? I did not know that.
Apparently. I've never successfully pulled it off, but I read somewhere that if you throw a Pikmin exactly into the center of it, it'll grind it and kill it.
You fiend!
But then again, I don't think even Olimar is evil enough to throw his minions into a functioning engine.
That's true. They're doing such nice things for him. It'd be a shame to kill off your workforce.
Yeah. Oh, this is such a dark game.
It kinda is. When many Pikmin seeds sprout at once, I find it rather tedious to pluck them from the ground individually. No kidding. My wife always told me I was no good at routine tasks. I guess I'll try to get it all done at once by repeatedly tapping A. Yep, I've noticed that when I add Pikmin to my group, they become filled with excitement and flushed with bright color. At other times, this is pretty much the meaning of disbandment, which I did pretty much by pressing X. Right, so we're gonna just pluck all the other Pikmin that are just so happily waiting for us to be plucked. They want to get plucked. Just like chickens. Just like chickens.
Just like, well, that's not exactly how chickens work.
That's true.
They don't want to be plucked, so they can be plucked.
Or
but
do they?
I don't think so.
Okay, so pretty much right now we have the maximum amount of Pikmin that we can actually grow in one day. Or in this day, at least.
Yeah, in day 1.
Now, other days aren't going to be as nice to you as this day. There will be all sorts of different enemies and puzzles and all sorts of other dangerous environmental hazards that you want to be wary of. So, this is pretty much the nice tutorial day.
But afterwards it gets pretty tough.
But it's nothing we can handle.
Alright, so while this is happening, let's figure out how we want to do these episodes.
That's a good point.
So if the days are about 13 minutes each...
And usually cutscenes and all other random stuff added into a day is about 3 to 4 minutes. So about 16 to 17 minutes per each episode.
So one episode is going to be 1 day?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So that's good for you guys. You'll know that exactly 1 day of progress will be made in 1 episode. That's actually convenient for us because it's easier to organize how we're going to make these episodes that way.
And magically, somehow the engine just magnetically fused with the ship without having any contact whatsoever with the ship, actually.
I like the fact that that the model actually updates when you put new parts into it.
But only certain parts, really.
Well, most of them actually, not all of them. There are some parts that don't work, but most of them do.
Oh, glorious! With the help of these Pikmin, I've taken a huge step back toward home. My ship can once again lift off. The glimmer of hope is beginning to burn more brightly like the passion of 1,000 suns. But what has become of the remaining parts? That search starts tomorrow.
Renewed.
Now what you want to do is also, just as a side note for later days, usually Pikmin that are left at the site, the main site, they will go back to their onions, but if they're left out in the environment without the protection of your captain, they will be eaten by nocturnal monsters. So you want to make sure that you have all your Pikmin with you at all times.
Yeah.
And blast off! Swoosh.
Let's fly off in our hunk of metal with an engine on it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
With no life support, really, actually.
No, there isn't even a like a protective top to the thing.
Yeah.
It's literally just a piece of scrap metal in space.
Quite right. I have somehow managed to launch the Dolphin, but I was surprised to see the Onion lift off with me. Perhaps the Pikmin can survive overnight on the planet's surface, or have they merely decided to join me for other reasons? Either way, it seems they will help me again tomorrow. Dolphin is missing 29 parts. If I can't recover them all, I may never return home to my family on planet Hockey. Analysis shows life support systems will function for 29 more days. What? Life support systems. How can I repair my Dolphin in such a short time? Good question. A dense forest is visible on the surface below. As it holds the key to my survival, I name it the Forest of Hope. I explore tomorrow. So this is, after each day, you are pretty much given a statistic of your Pikmin population, how many have sprouted, how many have died, and ship parts. Which is kind of nice.
Very useful. That's good for keeping score, basically. I assume we're going for a minimal death run here?
That's true. In my fastest speedrun, I was able to beat the game in 15 days and only lose 10 Pikmin in total. We'll see how far we go. But we won't know until we actually beat the game. So, stay tuned until the next episode of Pikmin. With me, KK, and...
Ardwickofonett.
Okay, see you guys later.
See you later.